Okay, let's do a quick review of some points from your match on Saturday. Okay, good depth from Connor on that last ball. We're going to go back and look at the technique on some of the ground strokes, more on Brady's side since he's here on the he's closer to us. So I like that you're getting the right arm extended on the backhand. I think it's the shot before this I wanted to kind of point out. But just more footwork. Let's get away from this ball much quicker, because you're just blocking the ball. And notice the racket's always on the outside of the ball. So the ball's here, your racket's got to come inward, so it's swinging outside in instead of inside out. We want to make sure we've got a different swing path. Okay, and let's go to the forehand before then. So let's kind of watch your return of serve. Okay, good blocking pattern. I like that one. Overall, just good hitting from Connor in terms of taking control of the point earlier. And really, you don't have to hit an amazing shot, run the person corner to corner. You just hit the ball deep, you're going to get the mistake. So keep that in mind in terms of how you're thinking about constructing your points. It's less about moving the person side to side at this level. It's more about just hitting with depth. Okay. Okay, a minus from Connor. I want Brady eventually. We want you to step in and hit that first forehand. You got bigger. Okay, good miss. Long's okay. Let's go back into the point here. We'll stop it. So the one thing I want you to just work on some more is spacing. Once again, the racket's way away from your body, so it has to pull into your body. You're either going to have a weak hit, or if you do catch the ball okay, you're typically going to miss the ball a lot longer because you get a lot less spin working out to in rather than inside to out. So depth was okay. Here's a ball from Connor that's a slight minus. Eventually what I'd like to see happen, once again, look at your racket. So the racket pulls in. If you're trying to hit this ball inside out, I'm not quite sure where you're trying to hit it, but if you're going to try to hit it inside out, you need this racket to really get in close, free fall close to that left knee, and then you can just really accelerate inside out, swing path, and drive the ball. But when somebody's giving you a ball that lands right there, we want to be a lot quicker moving up to it. You might even be a little bit better had you stepped in and hit a backhand here. Had you been real aggressive not running around it, you would have had more time to get further in. So that's something else to kind of watch for. The miss is okay. The one thing we just don't have enough is topspin on your backhand. So you can see the racket never really gets really inside the ball to swing out from the shoulders. You're kind of just wristing the ball across right here, rather than really being able to crank inside out, really produce some spin. But you're just not below the ball that much to really produce spin and go inside out. Okay, let's keep going. Good serve. Okay. So we got a decent drop shot. My biggest takeaway, Connor, is you need to just be one more step to your right still. So let's see how fast you move. You hit the drop, and then you could just be a little bit faster. Get up close on that net, and maybe be one more step to your right, and then this ball's not getting by you. Okay. Think about the racket head orientation. Very clearly open to the sky. Pointed way to the left. So we got to figure out if you're in composite grip or you're in continental grip there. So be mindful of that grip change because continental is going to stick the ball way more to the left than you want from the strings. Good ball from Connor. Step in, step in. Okay, looked like you just kind of didn't quite get below it enough and then really hit through it. It looked like you pulled off the ball just passive. If you're going to miss that ball, you're going to miss it big. Let's go back to some of the earlier hits. We got the serve. But just notice how quickly you come across. You're going to frame a lot of balls when you do this. So that's why we've got to have that inside-out path so you're tracking out longer. And remember, distance away from the ball allows you to swing inside out. Okay, ball's too close, you're going to have to pull in across the body. This is a pretty smart shot, Connor. Good ball. So notice once again, Connor hit a plus ball in terms of depth. It got the minus from Brady, but Brady won the point. Just so you want to think if you're in Connor's shoes here, you're at least the one coming forward. You've got the shot that you want that's going to get you to that next level. And somewhat, Brady, you got to be able to hit this ball off of the rise. We just got to work on that ability to hit it deeper. So even though when they're hitting a plus, you can respond with a good in-play ball and not a minus off of your racket. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, good serve. Just got to keep the strings pointed a little bit more towards the center of the court. So notice too, one thing, Brady, on your return, he goes up to serve, you kind of split, but there's no forward momentum into your return to serve. You're falling backwards. You go backwards. The big no-no. If you feel like you need to step further back, that's fine, but you need to be moving in on every return. You can just dictate how far you starting back to give yourself enough time, so you can control that. But a force needs a force on it. You gave his ball no force. It overwhelmed your racket. So he had an open face, kind of pointed to the left. So watch your return to serve in terms of how you're moving. Good depth. Okay, that ball's in. Connor, here's kind of my thought on this ball. He gave you a ball here. Forehand's fine, but you're making a huge direction change and taking risk that you don't need to take. You get it in, but by changing the direction that much, I would take this ball right back up the middle, but with a ton of depth. So you don't take any risk, but you still have depth, and you might get that air right away. Okay, good shot though. Just kind of looking at your backhands here, Brady, you can just see how quickly there's just not a big strike on the ball, and you're pulling up and across. Okay, so we've got to be driving through the ball more. Okay, service motion. Definitely getting a better coil. Your right arm's tucking. That's great to see. You're staying pretty tall. So that's awesome. Let's go back and look at the serve a little bit more. Only thing I would say you could do, turn the knees towards the camera a little bit more. But much improved serve. Hopefully the arm is feeling good as you are relaxed from the elbow position in the shoulder. Okay, so the backhand side seems to have some work to do because It's getting picked on a little bit here. Okay. Overall, way to be aggressive, Connor, on this point. It's kind of an awkward ball. You took off the rise, but you're going to have to hit it a little bit better than that in a lot of instances to get the air. But let's talk real quick. So, Brady, we've talked about being inside out on the forehand. You've heard me say it a million times already in this video. Look at your racket. It's outside the ball. Gets a little bit inside, but then it's got to track out longer. And I would say the bigger thing of why you missed in the net here is so even though you get low from your knees, when you're low at your knees, this is where the racket should have free falled to get way below the ball. You got low, but your racket stayed high. So we need to let, at this point, the racket, let's go back here. The racket right in here should just free fall as you sit. So you're getting low, the racket should be free falling. Instead, you're just playing out of your arm. It's disconnected from the body. Okay, you do that, you're not missing that in the net. And you actually did. I thought you were going to be outside, but if you would let the racket free fall right here, the racket naturally just comes better inside the body, and you're going to have more arm to lengthen out through the shot. So it's just important to understand how the technical side of the game impacts the actual point play. Good aggressiveness. Okay, we got to hit a better volley. So Connor, big thing for you. Do not let him get away without volleying. Keep the ball lower, but you do not want to miss the ball wide. Okay? And this is one of those things where you could go right, kind of right at his left hip. Just trying to keep the ball in front of you, but keep it very low, and you probably have a good shot. Let's look at the serve. Just pulling down a little bit, not staying as tall. That right shoulder tucks, but it stays tall. You can't let that right shoulder pull you down at all. Okay, decelerating on the serve. Okay, if you're going to miss big. You're going to hit up on the ball. You're going to go after it. So it looks like almost like you tried to stay taller with your right arm, but you just then slowed everything down. So make sure you're going to miss the right way. Okay, good shot. Okay. So Connor lost the point, but Brady's actually the one in the worst position. So let's look at the return. It's too short. You've got to be able to get more power on the ball. So you need to turn the front shoulder a little bit more. I believe this is a second serve. It's not coming that fast. You need to use more footwork to get the front shoulder turned more so you can unwind into that ball, hit out through it, get the ball beyond the service line. Let's look at Connor. So Connor, same thing. Look at your racket. The racket is actually outside the ball, pulling in. Okay, so you're going to have a very short swing radius. And we're going to kind of see, let's look here. So had the racket been, let's go back here, more in here with a free fall, you would have been able to swing out to the ball. It would have made this circle out to the ball. You would have had power. You would have been below it lifting. But your racket is breaking in across the ball. So you're going to have very thin contact. Still good that you're going forward, recognizing the minus. Okay. So to me, probably what's happening, Brady, is that wrist is slapping across the ball, opening up the face. Look like you tried to generate power on this one, and maybe the racket face is opening up. So remember, you want to feel the racket free fall and then come inside out to create that spin, and you're just going to get a much tighter spin without the racket face opening up. When the wrist is moving around, you tend to see the racket face open up more. I think overall, let's see Connor. Just want to see, can we start to get a longer contact? Can you send everything out? Notice your left shoulder, Connor, is, this is going to happen on shots, but it's all your energy is pulling around to the left. Okay, spinning like a top. We want to get that going more and more out to the target. Okay, I think that was a bad call from Connor there. Let's see that. Bad call, Connor. Anyways, we, once again, just going to keep saying this, Brady, it's a short return that's going to get you in trouble. So the backhand return is kind of my main takeaway. It needs a lot of work, just the overall backhand side, getting depth, because you are going to get attacked by people, especially in that 6, 7, 8 UTR range if you don't get that ball behind the service line. Okay, good serve, Connor. Okay, missed long, fine. Let's look at that. You can see that's your big miss, Connor. We've talked about when your wrist kind of flips out. Looks like it went a little bit there. Okay, good try. Let's just kind of come to this ball here. What I would worry more about here, Brady, is rather than moving Connor all the way out, you're actually, the more you pull him off the court, you're just increasing his angle. Okay, so he gets more angle to beat you short cross court. What I would be doing here is I would be driving this ball deep. Don't give him any angle. Take away his time by getting the ball deep to his feet, and you're going to get a much easier volley there. Okay, Connor, once again, it's going to come down to technique. The racket is way outside the ball, and it pulls right across the ball. So you've got an outside-inside swing, and it's very thin. Okay, so spacing. Okay, let's go back to the serve. You're hitting the ball slow. You're decelerating. Here's where it is. You cannot decelerate if you start to lay that palm open here. And I think we got a slight visual. Your racket face is pretty open for hitting up on a ball. So you have to slow it down. Then you try to flip your wrist over the ball. Remember, it's palm down serve. That's the only way you can hit a serve and be able to comfortably hit it, accelerate up on the ball. So we got to think more palm down here, cobra position. but too slow. Accelerate. Yep. Not enough shoulder turn, but you got the ball deep, so that's good. Better depth. Good. Okay. So once again, Brady gets the air because he's hitting deeper. Connor's pulling just across his body. He's got a merry-go-round swing instead of kind of the Ferris wheel out to the target swing. Okay, stay tall, hit up. Okay, that's okay, Connor. You're coming forward. Let's go into why, what we could have done better. Like that you're coming in. Just a minus on your return, though. Even though you were trying to be aggressive, the return's inside. Bounces right on the service line. Brady's got plenty of time. So it's not the tactic that needs to change. It's just the the quality of the approach shot that needs to change. So at least you're doing the right tactic there. Let's see, I miss it. Okay, good shot, Connor. Okay, ball's deep. It's in play. That's in play deep. Good. There's a short ball. Okay, so Brady, we don't do it. We get a minus from Connor, but you would never know it. Okay, so you got the depth. You moved back in. Good. Here's the minus. What is our intent with this shot? So technically, you're cutting down and across on your underspin. You're not driving through the underspin backhand. Okay? But also the great shot that would have been right here was hit your two-hander and really drive it into this area of the court. And then you basically want to just think about making Connor get behind each shot a little more. Okay, he's behind this shot because it was so deep. Okay, he's a little late there. Could you make him late without taking a big risk by just hitting to this area right here? You drive it into that spot. Doesn't need to be a winner. He's just further behind in the point again. And now you're getting an easier ball on the next shot. Okay? So we kind of let him off the hook right here. It's okay to lose the point. We just want to make sure we're losing the point in the right way. Okay. Decelerating on the serve. Okay, Connor. Pulling across. Look at that. You're outside the ball. If you do get yourself caught like this, Connor, it's just block from your shoulder out to the target. Don't pull and slap and brush across the ball. Okay? Good serve, good return. Good depth. Connor's got the minus. Okay, took a few extra shots, but that's good. So Connor gets the minus. He's coming up. We'd eventually like to see this approach get a lot deeper to take more time. Okay, Brady's hitting it. You got options here on your volley, Connor. Let's go into your technique. So the racket, a little bit late open, so it needs to straighten the arm. The left elbow needs to be high. Your left elbow is low. The racket face is open. The racket face is open. You're just not going to be confident sticking a volley. And I can't tell if you're trying to drop shot that or something, but that's a high volley. You just need to. You got options here. You could go back behind Brady, or you could go to the open court, but you kind of just hit a minus volley right to the middle and let him play. That's a good volley. So this is a great volley right here. Let's go back here. Sorry. So Brady's hitting it. He's in trouble. Keep the ball in front of you and low, which you do, and make him hit up, and then you're able to end the point. So great job right there. Not a lot Brady can do in this position, but just get back, hope Connor misses. Good serve. Oh, maybe a let. Good serve. But let's go into your footwork here, Brady. So you're going backwards every time. What if you started 2 steps further back or 1 step and you were moving into every serve? That's kind of the big takeaway on your return to serve. Okay, at least missing long on the second serve miss, so that's fine. Serve. And depth on the return. More depth on that, Brady. That's a minus, Connor. Why are we hitting that shot? Okay. Okay, so let's go back. Connor got lucky to win this point because it all comes back to win the rally. It's just a normal ball. And this is, we got to ask ourselves, what are we trying to do? This was not a drop shot. Okay, it was just a ball that gives Brady the offense. And Brady, our biggest thing here with your approach is you got to hit the ball a lot deeper. As Connor comes up with a very good shot here. Okay. And then it's just a scramble. Okay, don't fall in love with the drop shot, like at this level of kind of your development, Connor. You got a minus ball from him. You could have stepped in, done some damage. That's more important to your development than worrying about making, Brady run up to the net. Okay, let's look at the serve. You just got to stay taller and really hit up on the ball more. Make sure that that left arm tucks, but it doesn't necessarily stay tall. You can see sorry, I'm saying your right arm. I should be saying it should be your right arm. Your right arm is pulling down, so even though you're trying to tuck it, it doesn't stay tall. It's going to help drag you down. Okay, good decision, Connor. So we just want to think, Brady, how can we get him from approaching so much? The improvement of your second serve. You've got to be willing to accelerate the serve, and the serve can only be accelerated if the racket face is closed enough. Better serve. You got a minus, but you just gave him a minus. Okay. So it all comes back to just early on decisions of not being aggressive. We want to be aggressive, but hit to big targets. Here, what could we do differently here? You could hit a two-hander, cross court, okay, with power and pace. Make him get, take time away from him. You really have time to do, you could go up the line with it, but if you're going to hit this underspin, you need to hit through it. It can't be a bailout shot just to play an easy ball back in. Okay? And then same thing with you, Connor. Like you're hitting a minus right off of his minus. Now he's finally steps in and hits the shot he should have hit 2 shots ago. He takes some time away from you. Hit it. Okay? Okay, but once again, so Brady, we're going to look. I know you come back and you end up winning this match. I know the first part of your match wasn't your best play, but look, you got a minus return from him. You're too close to the ball, so you have to pull in. Anytime you're swinging into your body, you're decelerating your racket because that elbow gets jammed up. You have to slow down. This approach just doesn't do anything. Okay. Okay, stay taller. Don't be in a rush to bring the ball down. Okay, let's look at the left. So toss. Remember, when the toss starts to get too far over the head, this isn't too bad, but we got to figure out why are we pulling down. Look at your left arm. Goes, kind of just swings around. So you really got to get that sense that you're going to try to stay tall and use that left arm to help you stay tall. Okay, decent approach. Talk a little bit about this approach. What you did well is that you made Brady change direction. This is a ball that you could go up the line with, and if you're willing to hustle, you can kind of hit it. You can go cross court with it. It's borderline if you can go cross court with it. I think it's right at the end of having enough time to cover that line, because you can see it. Brady hit his shot. You're not covering it, but what did you do well? You made Brady have to change the direction of the ball, so there's a benefit there. Okay, let's look at this technique. Cut straight down. Not low enough with the racket work to get through it. You're just going to cut straight down on the ball. You got to just stay tall longer. Don't let the head pull down. Hit up a little bit more. Okay, good ball from Brady. Let's go back and look at the depth. Looked like you had more spacing on the return than on some of them, but you really were able to get some extension. You can see right in this area you had length out of your contact before you pulled across. You need more of that. Good job. Okay, let's look at the racket angle here. I'm not sure if we're going to catch the frame. But it's not enough friction. That's the way I would think of that miss. No friction to bring the ball down. Decelerating on the serve. There's a minus. Connor got a better return. There's a minus from Brady. Don't know what we're doing there. I think the big takeaway is, yeah, we've got technical work to do, but if we really start to just make sure we're hitting more and more balls in play, or pluses, not minuses, you guys could easily jump up a full UTR point and start really competing at another level with just improving the decision making and the types of misses that you're okay with. Good serve. Very good serve. And you can see, Connor, your racket gets outside the ball, so you have to pull into your body. You're jammed. We got to find ways where you're able to either get the racket inside the body so it can track out, or you just understand all I'm going to do is send my shoulder socket out towards the court, down court, so the racket has a chance to direct the ball somewhere good. It's a good shot to the backhand. Okay. Better serving. All right, we'll call it here. So kind of just take some notes on this, write down some things from a technical side of what you need to work on, think about from a strategic side what you need to work on, and try to think about how they interact. What if you fix what technical things, how's that going to impact your strategy? How is that going to change you as a player? Okay? Let's see why you missed long here. The thing that I think we got to get you to feel more, Brady, is if you can really strike inside out more on the ball from coming into the body out away, you're not going to have your racket face play open as much. I think what happens, like on a ball like this, we want to know, why did you miss long? Well, your racket face is opening up somehow, and you're not getting enough friction to bring the ball down. So that's going to be the big takeaway of what we want you to start feeling on your ground strokes.